Hi everybody. In today's video we will talk about using Pro Tools together with SD90 and trying to make some MIDI recording on the same way like I showed it in my Cubase video. We want to use SD90 in arranger mode. So I'm not going to talk about setup that we have to do in SD90 because it is absolutely same setup that we have in a video that I'm talking about using SD90 and Cubase. Now we will talk just about things that we have to do in Pro Tools. So let us start. In Pro Tools I have my project, my template project. You can see that project right now. That is my recording window, and that is my mixing window, and transport bar is here. So what I have to do here, I have just to create tracks on the same way like I created them in Cubase. Hopefully you know how to create tracks in Pro Tools, because I cannot now go through this in this video. It is going to be a long video if I do that. Now let us just focus on which kind of setup do we need here. Okay, now as you can see I have my bass track, drums, percussion, now accompaniment 1, 2, 3. I call that accompaniment from Korg time. They call that accompaniment, but here in Ketron world it's called rhythm 1, rhythm 2, rhythm 3, rhythm 4, rhythm 5. And then I have solo, and I call that upper 1, upper 2, and upper 3. So what do I have here? That is my window in this recording window. It is same story. I will show you a routing here, what I have here as a routing. There is MIDI input. If I press here and go here, you will see MIDI gadget. MIDI gadget is Ketron. Remember, as I told you, if you go to Ketron MIDI, if you go to MIDI setup, you have to activate USB MIDI keyboard, because it is connected to USB connection. We are communicated through USB messaging, and you have to activate clock in because we want to have synchronization. And you have to choose style, whatever style. Now MIDI gadget input, channel number 5 for bass guitar, and then output is here. You can see input, output is as well MIDI channel number 5. And if you go to other channels, you will see drums 10, percussion or groove, it is called here, it's 9. Then we have how they call that, let me see that exactly, how they call that in Ketron world. Oh, they call it chord. Actually, not rhythm. Chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5. That is actually accompaniment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or Genos, they call that on another way. Let us now concentrate to this. We will make another video about Genos and Pro Tools, and Korg and Pro Tools. I'm waiting, by the way, for that new Korg. I will buy it right away, and Korg lovers, you will see a lot of videos about Korg. Now, MIDI output is same. So what we says here, chord 1 is channel number 6 to 7, chord 3 is 8, and then chord 4 is 11, and chord 5 is 12. Now we have upper 1 is channel number 2, and upper 2 I will use actually here channel number 12, no, channel number 13, and input as well I will change to 13, and upper 3 14, and input and output is going to be 14 as well. Now it is same setup that we have on my Ketron SD90. Remember that setup from Cubase. You can go watch that video. Now when I have everything ready, here input and output, what I have to make sure, that my options here MIDI through is not engaged. Why not? Because I'm using MIDI controller to play Ketron, and I'm communicating with Ketron on global channel number 1. But in my combination with Pro Tools, I didn't use channel number 1 at all. I use all other channels except channel number 1 that is dedicated to communicate with my MIDI controller. Now I don't want to hear any true sound, because anyway I will be able to hear everything directly from this guy, because Ketron SD90, I am not using option in MIDI setup arranger keyboard status that is called local control off. Don't use that. Use it on this way, it will work perfectly. You don't need to use this way, because you don't want to have, because local control, you have separate keyboard with SD90 sound module. So that's why MIDI through is off. Now I don't have any mess with sounds that are coming, going through again and going through again, circulating, and it could freeze keyboard or make some trouble. Now, next setup that I have to do, beside of pointing every channel to every MIDI input and output, I will go to my setup, and I will go to MIDI, and I will go to MIDI beat clock. Now in beat clock, it is actually clocking, that is sending synchronization message from this software to Ketron SD90 to start and synchronize my Ketron. I will engage last option that says I have to move down. Let's scroll down. When you open that, you will not see it, but if you scroll down, you will see MIDI gadget, and I will say that and say OK. Now my Ketron is ready to be controlled by Pro Tools. What I have to do now, I have just to engage all my recording tracks, and I did it. As you can, they're blinking, they're red. And what I have to do, I have to press any chord here. Press any chord, and just when you start recording, it will start playing. Now record is engaged, and now play. Now I can stop playing by pressing stop on my Pro Tools, or I can just press ending here. And now I can stop. Now we can see that I did separate recording of all MIDI tracks. Everything went smoothly, nicely, without any interruption, without anything going on weird. Now, what I have to do now, let us say I finished everything. If I want to add something, add idea, work, I can continue my work to separate locations. When I'm ready to gather everything, when I think that I have everything together already, now I can stop recording. Then I have to go to setup. I have to go to MIDI beat clock, and just disconnect my synchronization. Now I can continue with my work on the way, whatever I want to do. Let us now listen to this recording. Of course, synchronization is not anymore engaged, and Ketron is not going to play. It is just going, everything we will hear from Cubase. Oh no, from Pro Tools. Now look at it. Now my actually Pro Tools, they are sending my mix that I have here. It's not same like mix here, but if I just go on Ketron here, go to any style, then again that same style, I will play it now. It's again, because now I have to match this mix to this mix. Going in view, see those volume numbers, put them, see those instruments, put them instruments like on the same way like we did it. We have just to use our template. If you have template, if you have to make template for Pro Tools, you cannot use Cubase template. Cubase template is for Cubase. Template from Pro Tools, you have to make now template from Pro Tools, and then you will be able to control all instruments and everything what is going on. So that's it. Very simple. Actually, even it looks more simple than using Cubase, because you don't know to go to setup and to do that filtering separately. You just go and say MIDI true off, and that's it. You are using that.